Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Jump Report. I'm your host, Taylor, and today we're going to be looking at the top upcoming anime of 2023. I'm going to be using My Anime List's top upcoming anime tab to get my information from. I'm not going to go through every show on this list. I'm just going to kind of pick and choose based on A, the shows I know, and B, the things that sound interesting to me. What's surprising is that the very top of this list is Rising of the Shield Hero, which, okay, there's no shot that that's actually the most anticipated hype show of next year. I call bullshit on that. Who knows, maybe it is gonna be really good. I did kind of enjoy the first season. I kind of dropped the second season though. I don't know, it could be interesting. It could be interesting. But the fact that it's number one on this list is a little suspicious to me. Is that really the best that anime has right now? I don't think so. The second anime on this list is no surprise to anybody, I think. It's Attack on Titan, the final season, part 3. Now, I don't know about the rest of you. I was initially extremely hyped when they announced the final season of Attack on Titan was gonna air, and I totally bought into the hype. I was waiting every Sunday for the new episode to come out. The first 6 or 7 episodes of that final season were really good. And then the second part of the final season happened. Yeah, there was some good moments, but God, it just felt like it was dragging on and dragging on. And then these had the balls to put out a final season part 3. This isn't the final season part 3 anymore. This is just season 6. Attack on Titan is going to be really good. I just wish that they would have not aired anything last year and just gave it to us all, because splitting it up into 3 parts is really the flow. And I know they were waiting for the manga to finish. I get it, there's circumstances to all these things. I'm still going to watch it because I need closure. I need to figure out what happens. I've avoided reading the manga specifically to wait for this part 3 to come out. So you can say that my feelings about AOT right now are lukewarm. I'm going to watch it, and I'm probably going to enjoy it, but I'm not that happy about it because I've had to wait and wait and wait. And it also doesn't help that I've heard that there's a lot of mixed opinions on the AOT ending. It sounds like it's gonna be a not so happy ending, which is fitting. I don't think Eren should be rewarded for his actions. Yeah, there's a morbid curiosity that is going to make me finish this series. The third show on this list is the one I'm probably the most excited about in all of 2023. I'm talking about Vinland Saga Season 2. Now, I know Vinland Saga is pretty popular. A lot of you out there have probably watched it, or maybe even you got the blessing to read the manga at some point. But even with how popular it is, I still think Vinland Saga is really underrated. Now, this next arc of Vinland Saga is infamous, I guess is the best way to put it. So, not gonna spoil too much of season 1, but the gist of it is we see the childhood of the main character, and he goes through a lot of ups and downs. The way to think about it is the entire first season of Vinland Saga is just the prologue to the rest of the story, which sounds kind of crazy, especially if you've seen the first season of Vinland Saga. Right now is when the show actually starts. Now, there's a lot of mixed opinions about this next arc. If you guys have read Vagabond, which is my favorite manga, there's a really good arc in Vagabond where the main character just gives up his sword and stops all the killing just to go farm in a poor village. That's what Vinland Saga Season 2 is about. Our main character just kind of gives up the swords and axes and bloody violence to go farm. It kind of sucks because I don't think it's going to be that popular. Actually, I don't think a lot of people are going to check it out. I feel like Season 2 is not going to get the love that it deserves, especially because a lot of people are going to be thrown off. Because some people definitely only watched the first season because it was Vikings and blood and there's not really a lot of that. Assuming that the animation and everything is done as well, if not better than Season 1, I'm not sure there's going to be another show in 2023 that can stop Vinland Saga. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. Please, if you haven't seen the first season of Vinland Saga, go watch it now because I'm pretty sure this one is coming out in January this year. You got a couple weeks to watch the first season before the second season airs. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this one. While we're on the topic of shows that are coming out this January, I want to look at two shows that I'm excited about. So the first one I want to talk about is the second season of Don't Bully Me Nagatoro. I've been reading the manga for Nagatoro for a while now. It's just a really fun rom-com manga. I mean, it's a little ecchi in some cases. Not often though. I don't know, I just like it because of the main character dynamics. It's a nice twist on the genre because our main character is about as of a main character as you can get. The dude pisses his pants and cries anytime anybody looks at him wrong, and Nagatoro is a ruthless bully, but she's also a real sweetheart at the end of the day too, which is nice. I enjoy that. It's kind of a guilty pleasure anime of mine. I don't think a lot of people are gonna love it, but if you do like rom-com animes in general, I would go give the first season of this a watch if you haven't already. I really enjoyed it. I think the second season's also gonna be really good. So yeah, for my rom-com lovers out there, go watch Nagatoro. You got a couple more weeks as well to catch up to that one. There's another anime that's coming out in January that I'm a little excited about. I know I've said I've been excited about other shows that I've mentioned so far, but this one is going to be pretty interesting, I think. Coming out this January is an anime adaptation of Nier Automata. Now, I've never played these games once in my life. I don't think I've ever even seen gameplay, but just like the rest of you, I'm guessing, I'm intimately familiar with the main character 2B. Where might I know her from? Gentleman's Secret. Now, in all seriousness though, I am pretty interested about this anime adaptation because, as we've seen from Cyberpunk from a couple months ago, anime adaptations of video games have serious potential if they're done right. So we're just gonna have to see if this is actually like a real standalone quality story, or if it's just kind of like a cash grab for fans of the series. Luckily for me, I'm a fan of the fan art and not so much the video game series themselves. So when I do sit down to watch it, I'll be able to give a pretty balanced judgment of it, at least in regards to its quality as an anime. So next up on the list is going to be Demon Slayer Season 3. Now, if you haven't seen Demon Slayer yet, I can only assume that you've been living under some sort of rock. It's kind of like the biggest thing in anime right now. For a little background, I've actually read the entirety of the manga for Demon Slayer. After I saw the first season of the show, I was kind of like hooked immediately, just like I'm sure a lot of you were. I was actually thoroughly impressed with the manga. I was assuming that this was going to be like every other shonen and just drag on and slowly decline in quality as the story went along, because that seems to be the trend. But the Demon Slayer manga seriously surprised me, and this next arc that's going to be happening during season 3, the Swordsmith Village arc, I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember much of it. I remember some key scenes and like main plot points. It's gonna feel somewhat new again because it's been a little while since I've actually read the manga, so I'm just as excited for this season as I was for seasons 1 and 2, and you know, obviously the movie. I don't think I need to say much for Demon Slayer. Go watch it. You know it's good. Everybody knows it's good. If you don't like Demon Slayer, then you have to be just extremely pretentious. I mean, the people that don't like Demon Slayer are probably the same people that are just meat writing Evangelion 25 years later. You know. Didn't hear it from me, but if you hate Demon Slayer, take a look at yourself in the mirror. Do you really hate it because it's bad, or do you hate it because everybody else likes it? Food for thought. Delicious. So the next show on my list is Jujutsu Kaisen's second season. So this is actually one of the shows that I'm not a manga reader of, so I can't really enjoy the same superiority that I normally do when talking about shows. I'm expecting it to be really good because I really liked the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen, especially considering MAPPA's still doing it, if I remember correctly. I should go look that up. One sec. Yeah, MAPPA is still doing it, so I can only imagine that it's gonna be really good as usual. I mean, we've been seeing it with Chainsaw Man, and we're gonna see it soon with Hell's Paradise, which I'll talk about later in this video. Probably make a whole video on it, so I think it's gonna be the next Chainsaw Man, but that's for a later time. But yeah, with MAPPA at the helm, I don't think they can do anything wrong at this point. I will watch every single show they make, and I will thank them while doing it until they prove me otherwise. So I'm only expecting good things. I can't imagine anything else but perfection at this point. So next I'm going to be talking about Konosuba. I think Konosuba is like by far and away the funniest anime that's come out in a long time. I don't think a lot of other shows have nearly the same level of comedy that this one does. Now it's not like a pure comedy or like a slapstick type of thing, or it's not like Prison School or Nichijou. It's a more wholesome comedy with other going on in it. Konosuba is like kind of peak comedy at this point. Both seasons of Konosuba were really good. The movie was hilarious. If you haven't seen the clip of Kazuma and the Chimera lady, you need to go watch that. I was crying laughing. The movie was excellent. Both seasons of the show were excellent. There's no reason the third season isn't also going to be excellent. Definitely give this one a watch. The next show I'm looking at is the second season of My Dress Up Darling. Again, this is another rom-com. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I get it. I know there's tons of different people that watch several genres of shows. Some people only watch one genre of shows. I watch everything. I have a particular affinity for rom-coms, even if they're stupid, even if they're trash. I watch more trash rom-coms than I do trash isekais. And I know a lot of you also love the trash isekais. Don't worry, we are fellow consumers of garbage. Actually, you know what? No, why the am I talking about garbage? My Dress Up Darling is really good. I swear. It's really good. It's honestly, it was my favorite romance that came out this year by a mile. I still think Kaguya-sama is probably still my favorite rom-com of the two for now, but I will say My Dress Up Darling is amazing. Even though it is just straight fan service, I'm not complaining. I don't think you guys are either. Fellow brothers, lovers of garbage and fan service, join me for the second season of My Dress Up Darling. Solo Leveling is finally coming out. If you haven't seen it already, go watch Noah and I's video about the Solo Leveling anime adaptation. Over the summer when the anime adaptation got announced with some key visuals in there, we made a video on it. It actually did really well for our channel standards. So I can see that there's other people that are really hyped about this. I have a feeling that it's going to be really good. I've heard some rumors though that they're Japanizing. I know in America we have a phrase like Americanized versions of things. It seems like the anime studio that's doing it is trying to Japanize. They're changing all of the names and characters and locations to be in Japan, basically. It's Korea erasure, is what I've heard from the rumors. Erasure. Why is it so hard to pronounce things? Either way, go watch our video on Solo Leveling to see more in-depth on Noah and I's thoughts about the show. Just know that we're hyped about it. Rejoice, commoners, lovers of anime from all over the world. We are getting One Punch Man Season 3, finally. So this is another show that I read ahead in the manga. Pretty sure that this third season we're gonna see the Garo versus Saitama like big fight, but I didn't actually read that far ahead. Even though the animation quality kind of stepped down a little bit since Madhouse set the bar so high in the first season, season 2 was still pretty good animation wise. Season 3 is probably not gonna slack in that regard either. If anything, I think it'll be a serious improvement from season 2. One Punch Man is actually the first anime that I ever watched in its entirety. I had watched like Studio Ghibli stuff, and then I saw some episodes of Attack on Titan and some of Death Note, but I never actually finished either of those series just because they were popular with some girls in my middle school. Yeah, you guys get it. You guys get it. You gotta do what you gotta do. Actually, I like both of those shows too, but the point is, One Punch Man was the first anime that I sat down all the way through and thoroughly enjoyed it, which is kind of ironic considering it is like a parody anime of other superhero anime. That fact wasn't lost on me. If anything, it felt more like a parody of like Marvel movies, because that's what I was familiar with at the time. But yeah, somehow I've gotten really far off track. One Punch Man Season 3, it's gonna be really good. Look forward to it. Get hyped. If this fight is animated correctly, it's gonna be sick. Get ready. Up next is Hell's Paradise. I'm not gonna go super in depth on this show because I'm actually planning on making my next video essay on the new trailer that released like 2 weeks ago from the time of this recording about Hell's Paradise. It's gonna be done by MAPPA, just like every other good show of the past 2 years has been. It's the third show in the Dark Trio of shonen or dark shonen. There's a couple different names for it. Basically, it's referring to Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, and Hell's Paradise. All three of those shows came out within the past like 3-ish years in manga form. These mangas have been extremely popular, and MAPPA has decided to animate each and every one of them, which makes me extremely excited, but it also makes me want to pray for the sorry MAPPA animators that are probably chained to their desks, working for like 2 cents an hour, 24/7, never get to see their wife and kids, don't even get to have a good meal. It's not a good time to be a MAPPA animator right now. Honestly, I want to send over a welfare check on them just to make sure that they're still living and breathing. I would be kind of scared to see what they look like because I imagine their eyes are completely soulless by now from the overwork. Either way, as much as a tragedy as their animators' lives are, I for one am not going to complain too much because MAPPA is slave driving them into making some amazing shows. Now I'm going to cover my honorable mentions for this season. These are shows that I know are popular, but I'm not personally super invested in. So we also have a Goblin Slayer season 2 coming out. I did watch the first season mainly because everybody was kind of drug in by the shock value of the first episode of season 1, but I thought it was a pretty good conclusion in the first season. I don't know what's gonna happen in the second season. I'm probably not gonna watch it unless I hear some more crazy shit about it, which wouldn't surprise me. They are probably going to put some more shock value situations in the first episode just to get their viewers back. Who knows, maybe I might get pulled back into it, but unlikely. We also have the third season of Dr. Stone coming out. I'm not a fan of Dr. Stone. I watched 4 or 5 episodes of the first season. It got boring really quick. I could totally see it if you were like a science teacher and you didn't want to do anything for your lecture and you only taught 5th graders or lower. Sure, yeah, give them Dr. Stone. They might learn something. As for me personally being entertained by it, that's not happening. We also have the second season of Tokyo Revengers. When it first aired, the manga readers were going crazy, hyping it up to be the next big thing. I sadly believed them. I kind of bought into the hype a little bit. So those first couple episodes severely disappointed me. I dropped it. I'm not watching it. It just seems so stupid to me. Like, you're a bunch of middle schoolers and you're on some blood and crypt. I'm completely turned off by it. You can go ahead and watch it if you want. I'm not interested. It seems really stupid. Classroom of the Elite is getting a season 3. Is the second season still airing right now? Maybe it's not. I watched the first season. I liked it. It was really intriguing, but it's also a little pretentious. It takes itself way too seriously for my tastes, but I do know that a lot of people really like it, and it is kind of like the Sigma male show of the past couple of years. Yes, if you do like model yourself after Ayokaniji, whatever the f his name is, you're a Sigma male whether you like it or not, and it's not a good thing in my opinion. I won't be watching it. We also have Inspector season 2. This one's it's another one that flew under a lot of people's radars, but I personally kind of liked it. I didn't actually finish the first season though, so I don't know if I'm gonna watch it because that would mean I have to go back and finish the first season first. Although I can't remember why, because I do remember liking it. I did drop it at some point, so maybe when I go back and look at it, it might not be that great. It's kind of up in the air if I'm gonna watch this one. There's also the third season of Fire Force. Now, I really liked the first season of Fire Force. I was like, okay, sweet, this is gonna be a really good shonen. I'm gonna be able to get behind this 100%, and I thought it was cool. It did remind me of Soul Eater, which I also dropped at some point, so maybe that's a sign. But yeah, by the time the second season rolled around, I was kind of just like, eh. It felt like it was a weekly airing series, if that makes sense. For them to only have as many episodes as they did, I felt like they were just dragging on way too long. Fights should not be lasting 3 episodes with 0 plot development. I know whenever anybody thinks about Fire Force, they think of Tamaki and the fan service. I'm not gonna harp on that, even though it is a little distasteful. I still enjoyed it. I'm not gonna complain. I don't have such a high moral standing upsetting and feeling of superiority that I need to trash the show for getting viewers. Obviously they do that for a reason, because the fans like it. That's why it's called fan service. So you can bitch about that all you want, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't be the reason you don't like the show. You should not like the show because of like legitimate reasons like pacing and lack of plot development and whatnot. But yeah, as I mentioned, I dropped Fire Force in the second season, so maybe I'll pick it back up again if I'm bored. We'll see. Now, another show that was actually like I kind of forgot about, but I am pretty excited about now that I'm hearing that there's a third season coming out, is The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. This is another isekai garbage technically, but this one's a lot better, I would want to say, than most other isekais. This one has like a real thickness to the plot, if you will. It's also not just laced with tons and tons of fan service. It's certainly there, but it's tasteful, okay? The rest of the show's really good too, so I'm excited for it. Last but not least on my short list of shows to look out for, we have the third season of Rent a Girlfriend. If you're looking forward to this shit show, click off now. I don't want your views. Have some self-respect. Go watch something with a little substance to it. Something that's not gonna leave you pulling your hair out. I was really excited, actually, when this got announced and released originally. Like I said, I like trashy rom-coms. Those are my guilty pleasure animes. So I was completely all over this one at first, but that main character, dude. He's the worst. He's so bad. He's so bad. I don't like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's what I think of when I think of that dumb God, I'm getting agitated just recalling it. Obviously, as you can tell, I dropped it. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the bullshit anymore. It's just dragging on and on and on. There's no need. There's absolutely no need. End the show already. It's gone on way too long. Like, she's clearly fallen for him. She was all over it within like a couple episodes. You could tell. Okay, she likes him. Cool. And then they just keep adding in more more dumbass scenarios, and then the main character just blushes shyly and runs away and chokes. You know that clip from the ESPN guy? It's like, oh, if aliens got their death laser pointed at Earth, like, who do you want? Curry or Iguodala? And he's like, Iguodala. This guy is like the last person on my list to take that shot. He is so incompetent. So beyondly incompetent. I'm not going to be watching it. I refuse to. If you plan on watching it, like I mentioned earlier, get yourself some self-respect. Do something with your life. Please. Any other show. Literally any other show. It's fine. Just not this one. This one's the worst. This video was pretty different from anything we've done on the channel so far, so I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did making it. To address the elephant in the room, I know I didn't really cover any of the shows that are getting their first season next year, and that was for a good reason. Personally, I haven't read like any manga this last year, so I don't really feel comfortable making claims about shows that I don't really know anything about. If there's a show coming out next year that I didn't mention in today's video, please let me know down in the comments and I'll make sure to go give it a look. I might do another video in a few weeks where I look at the shows that I'm going to be watching in winter of 2023. If that interests you, leave a like on the video and subscribe to stay up to date with the newest episodes of Jump Report. Thank you guys for watching. I'm your host Taylor, and I'll see you guys in the next video.